Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another episode of The Law of Baking. For today's episode, we're going to be making cinnamon rolls. Cinnamon roll is a delicious, fluffy dessert that could be had for breakfast or for snack or just plain dessert. We're going to start by combining 2 cups of warm milk, half a cup of sugar, and melted butter. We're going to give that a stir, so make sure that the sugar is dissolved. Then we're going to add 1 sleeve of active dried yeast. Combine that for a little bit so all the particles are combined. And we're going to let that sit for about 10 minutes. After about 20 minutes, the mixture should look like this. As you can see, the yeast grew. So now we're going to combine the flour. It's about 4 cups of flour. So we're going to combine them a little bit at a time. Now the dough is going to look very wet, and that's okay. We want the dough to look like this. We're going to put it to rest so it could rise. And after it rises, if we need to add more flour, we will combine more flour later on. We want to make sure that everything is incorporated. So that there are no lumps. Now, after we combine everything very well, we're going to put this to rest for about 1 hour so the dough could rise. It's going to double in size at that point. So I'll see you guys back in 1 hour. Now, for the filling, we're going to need some brown sugar, cinnamon, and butter. So we're going to start by combining the butter. The butter needs to be a room temperature so it could be easy to work with. And the sugar, we're going to cream these two together first. Then we're going to put the cinnamon. Now this is the classic way to make the filling for the cinnamon roll. Butter, brown sugar, and cinnamon. If you're feeling happy, you could put a tablespoon of powdered chocolate or a little bit of nutmeg. It really is people's preference. The little bit of powdered chocolate does enhance the flavor. For this one, we're just gonna go with basic filling, which is just the butter, the cinnamon, and the sugar. But like I said, you could play with it and make it your own. We're gonna put this aside because we're gonna spread this once the dough is ready. Now we're gonna combine 1 cup of flour, 1 teaspoon of baking powder, and 1 teaspoon of salt to enhance the flavor. I'm going to combine that well. Now we're gonna knead this for about 10 minutes. I'm gonna add a little bit of flour to the surface so it doesn't get sticky. I'm gonna start kneading. After 10 minutes of kneading, you will see that the dough should spring back when you put a finger in it. Then it's ready to go. So for the next step, we're basically then going to shape the dough into the square that we want. So then we could put in the filling. Now using a rolling pin, we want to make sure that we start rolling the dough to the sides. So as you can see, we made it into a rectangle. It will be easier to roll if they look the same size as much as possible. Now that the dough has been rolled out, we're going to take the filling mixture that we made earlier and we're going to spread it all around. So as you can see, we spread it as even as possible. Now that we make sure that it's spread all the way to the edges, we need to start the rolling technique. Now the rolling, you have to be very careful just because we don't want to make sure that everything is rolled as perfectly as possible so you have beautiful circles. So you could roll it in from left to right, right to left, or front to back, either way. We're gonna roll it left to right to make a tight roll. So we're gonna start very slowly by raising the dough. And there you have it. It will look like this. Now we have to cut it and put it in the pans. Look how beautiful they look. So that will give them some presence. In the next proving, they're gonna rise. They're gonna grow a little bit bigger again. So now like I said, we put this to rest for about 30 minutes. And then after 30 minutes, we put them in the oven at 350. While the cinnamon rolls are baking, we want to make the frosting. Now we're going to take a block of cream cheese, about 8 ounces. We're going to combine that with melted butter. And we're going to whisk that together as best as we can. We're going to add a little bit of milk and a little bit of vanilla. We're going to add 2 cups of powdered sugar. I'm going to add it 1 cup at a time so it doesn't make a lot of mess. Now that it's well combined, it's going to have this consistency. And this is what we spread on top of the cinnamon rolls. So they could be delicious. Or more delicious. So it's been about 25-26 minutes and look how gorgeous this cinnamon rolls look. We're gonna let them rest for about 5 minutes and then we're gonna put the frosting on top before we try them. Okay, so now it's been about 5 minutes and we're gonna take the frosting that we made earlier and we're gonna, now you could do this in a couple of ways. You could drizzle it like this, but see, But since we want a lot of frosting in our thing, we want to make sure that we pour it like this around everywhere. Look how just amazing that looks. Now it's time to try it. So, look at that. Look at the cinnamon looks inside. And look how it unfolds. Let's try it. Delicious. And that's how you make cinnamon rolls. I hope you enjoy them. See you next time.